It's not that I'm sitting here saying, oh, poor white people. No. I just want the truth. I want complete facts. They think that this is the biggest threat to black people is dying at police hands, saying that this stunt by Kanye and Candace was white supremacist. You could find something every day that was an injustice. And if you put it on blast and you make it only about race, you can control the sentiment of the population. So Black lives obviously matter. And I understand why saying all lives matter can be triggering for people on the left who really want justice for black people. I want justice for black people. And so because of that, I want everyone to look at where black lives are lost senselessly and where that's not changing. Where that's not changing is when black Americans are crime victims, murder victims. We saw that in Atlanta, Georgia at that Wendy's after the young man who fell asleep in the drive-thru, and then it just escalated and the taser didn't work, and then he ended up getting shot, which was completely tragic. And then there were protests at the Wendy's, and then during the protests a little girl was shot, Sequoia something, and the parents were saying, where are the Black Lives Matter people now? Candace Owens knows this, Bill Maher knows this, the Washington Post knows this. Basically, we wonder now why these things are being put on blast, and then when a white person gets killed by police, or even gets killed, in a politically motivated killing, like just happened, I think it was in Michigan. Where's the media on this? It's really frightening to see politically motivated killings, no matter who's doing them. But sadly, a lot of the mainstream media that people watch really isn't interested in crimes committed against black people, white people, conservative people. If the criminal or if the murderer is a person of color, they're only interested when the murderer is a white person. It's not that I'm sitting here saying, oh, poor white people. No. I just want the truth. I want complete facts. And so saying white lives matter is just a way to kind of up the ante, to escalate the dialogue, whereas, saying all lives matter actually infuriates the entire totalitarian leftist establishment. So he decided to up the ante with Candace Owens, and he had his own fashion designs that said white lives matter. I saw a lot of really breathless, disgusted posts from people who haven't really looked into the statistics. They think that this is the biggest threat to black people is dying at police hands, saying that this stunt by Kanye and Candace was white supremacist. Nothing could be further from the truth. And what they were getting people to look at is, you should not be killing anyone. You should not be causing anyone's death. There are a lot more threats to the black community, to black Americans, than police. In fact, you're much more likely to die as a crime victim, as a murder victim in your own neighborhood, than you are as a victim of a police shooting or killing. So simplifying things down to where we're like at a first grade level, and then arguing about that is probably the absolute worst thing we could be doing in our country right now. That's why I've stayed firm in my stance that police can do better. Individual police departments can do better. And at the same time, like Candace Owens, I'd like to say that, for instance, illiteracy, poor educational performance is much more of a threat to black Americans than the police. That is why this entire situation, it rests on complete facts. We must get the word out. I have videos on my YouTube channel. I have articles showing that this problem affects us all, so that we must come together. And as victims of unscrupulous police, or of terrible tragic events, or as victims of crime, violent crime, and as activists and advocates, we must come together and see that this is a problem for our entire country, no matter what your color is. So that's the only way we're going to get through this, not with a Black Lives Matter that was founded by people who were actually trained in political agitation Saul Alinsky tactics of spectacle and misinformation. This comes even from the Soviet playbook. So that's happening, and we didn't see it coming. So now we see it coming. Let's stop looking at this situation in black and white. We must understand that a problem is a problem, and it's not going to get solved until all of us care about it. And that includes crime, that includes poverty, that includes illiteracy, that includes the paternalistic, condescending racism of the Democrats, who really don't care about black lives at all, the ones in power at least.